So there is a pretty fascinating report up in the Hill, and it reports on a couple of centrist Democrats who are basically calling for Nancy Pelosi to be removed and replaced as Speaker of the House. Now, apparently, there were some polls already that had said that Pelosi should be replaced. Now, what's really interesting, obviously, this is arising because of the incredible failure of Democrats in the Senate and the House to actually win. Now, the House, it looks like their seat numbers are dwindling. I don't even know if they're going to hold on to their majority, and if they do, I don't know how many seats that they have lost, but they lost a lot of seats. Also in the Senate, people are saying it's in play because of the two runoffs. Truth be told, they're both Democrats will probably lose both the runoffs. Ossoff is a pretty weak candidate, and maybe Warnock has a small chance. But the truth is, once Trump is gone, Democrats don't have any energy. Not only do they not have any energy, Democrats traditionally in recent times are a complete ass when it comes to lower level races. So they'll probably lose both of those. So this failure has basically brought on a lot of criticism onto House Democrats because they're like, hey, what the hell is going on? What happened? And so it says the two Democrats told The Hill on Wednesday that they're reaching out to their colleagues about backing one of Pelosi's top lieutenants, House Democratic Caucus Chairman Hakeem Jeffries, for Speaker in the next Congress. Now, Hakeem Jeffries, if I'm not mistaken, is another centrist. Obviously, he's African American. It says he bridges moderates and progressive better than anyone, and most importantly, he's not Nancy Pelosi. So I guess it has to, maybe it's a comment referencing potential baggage similar to there was with someone like a Hillary Clinton, it appears. But it says the idea was immediately shot down by Jeffries, of course. Now, honestly, when it comes to Pelosi, even if she's not going to be replaced, she should be resigning after this next 2 years. She's incredibly, incredibly old, and she should definitely leave. But here's what it says. It says, heading into the polls, Pelosi enjoyed the overwhelming support of her caucus, facing no threat of a speakership challenge. Democratic leaders were eyeing big gains to their majority with some estimates in the double digits. But the early returns revealed a different reality. Not only did Democrats lose a number of their most vulnerable members, they had not picked off a single Republican incumbent heading into Wednesday evening. The results immediately emboldened Republican leaders who accused Pelosi and her party of being out of touch with the country. And Democrats on and off Capitol Hill were left licking their wounds and questioning their strategic decisions that guided their party's message throughout the campaign. Pelosi needed to hammer Trump, but instead she chose to let him slide, said one former senior Democratic aide. Last night should have been a bloodbath for Republicans. Says with frustrations bubbling up, Pelosi has become an early target for moderates representing suburban districts, worried that their leadership strategy hurts such members heading into the polls. It's time for Democrats to elevate a new generation of leadership in both the House and the Senate, one of the Democrats told The Hill. Americans are clearly afraid of, quote, socialism, want safe streets and neighborhoods, and to vote for people who they believe will help put more money in their pockets. While Democratic policies can adequately address those issues, our messaging mechanism clearly cannot. So basically what they want to do is they want to pick another moderate. They don't want these people who are, I guess, wanting to replace Pelosi, the centrist Democrats. They're actually wanting to replace Pelosi with another moderate, potentially even more moderate, which is pretty tough to do. But essentially, I guess the idea here is that what you have is Nancy Pelosi is obviously out of touch. You guys remember the whole ice cream incident that she had, where she had her freezer that was really expensive and then had a bunch of really expensive ice cream as like people were lining up at unemployment lines. It definitely wasn't a good look. It was definitely a bad look, and so they kind of want to, I guess, move away from that. I'm not really sure how that's going to help you win any of the races. I guess Medicare for All back candidates did really well, so that's pretty interesting to see. But Nancy Pelosi's time is expiring regardless. I thought she had said that, if Hillary had won, she was going to resign. Maybe she was lying. But she's going to try here again, apparently, to be Speaker of the House, which is pretty bad. She's very old. She should resign. And yeah, she didn't really do a good job of going after Trump. The extent of her going after Trump really ended up being the clapping thing and then ripping up the speech. That was pretty much it, which is all symbolic garbage that doesn't at the end of the day actually do anything. So I think she's getting heat from a lot of different sides. Now, also there's another story. The head of the D-Triple-C, Cherry Bustos, who's an Illinois representative, will not run for a second term, leading House Democrats' campaign arm following a disappointing election where her party saw at least 7 vulnerable incumbents go down to defeat. So the DCCC is obviously it's the Democratic arm for the House, and apparently it has failed as well, obviously, because the House has failed. So she's going to be not seeking re-election there for the next term. So Democrats really in peril right now, trying to figure out what exactly they're going to do here because they failed pretty hard. Hopefully this will be an opportunity for progressives to take more of charge. We're going to see AOC is already fighting off both Republicans and corporate Democrats, trying to contest the notion that it was progressivism or leftism that hurt Democratic candidates, saying that Medicare for All backed candidates did pretty well. So that's what's interesting going on, man. Nancy Pelosi might be replaced.